Okay, little interesting thing about the Parsha. So we're in Parsha Shemos now, Exodus, right? The very beginning of the second book of the 5 books of Moses. And there's a very interesting thing that we see in this whole Parsha, in the beginning parts of this whole Parsha, that it mentions the names of the Bnei Israel in general. But if we go through the storyline, there's the absence of names. All we do is see, here, I'll even pull it out for you guys, right? There's the absence of names. As you'll see in the beginning, that Paro, you see the Jewish people become very prolific and they're everywhere. And then Paro calls the 2 midwives and he says, I want you to do this thing for me, right? You got to kill the children, right? And of course, it doesn't even say the names of the midwives, who they are, right? And then it goes further on. After it speaks about the midwives whose names were Shifra and Pua, and that really wasn't their names. It really was more their occupations, okay? And then after that, of course, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, right? And then it says in the beginning of chapter 2, a man went out from the house of Levi, a daughter of Levi. Now, who's the man of Levi? Who's the daughter of Levi? We know who they are because they tell us that it's Amram and Yocheved. Amram married Yocheved. Amram separated from Yocheved, right? And then, of course, they gave birth, and they didn't even know, you don't even know who the kid's name is, right? Until Paro, till Paro's daughter. And then Paro's daughter, here we get the idea, here's the concept of the names, okay? But the interesting thing is in the very beginning of the Parsha, and this is what tells us about exile. You see, when we talk about exile, there's many different types of exile. And this is the exile where we lose our identity. And that's what the beginning of this Parsha is showing us. By the fact that there were really no names mentioned in it, in the whole beginning part. That teaches us that really the idea or the beginning of redemption is to come to recognize who we are, to reclaim our identity in terms of who we are, and that is the beginning actually of the Geula. They have a nickname for the book of Exodus. They call it Sefer HaGeula, and the beginning starts with no name to tell us that really what we have to do is find ourselves and find our name. Y'all have a good one.